What's up everyone, welcome back to our lawn, and today we're conducting an experiment. So what I want to know and find out is, one, does the SunJoe function as a verticutter for a putting green? And two, if it does function as a verticutter, will verticutting work and help the bentgrass spread into some of the bare areas we have? Now what I'm seeing right now as I look at it is drought. I have needed to water this and I haven't, so I'm seeing some areas that have succumb to some combination of probably drought or heat. But I'm going to be focusing on the areas at the bottom. Let's take a look at them right now, and then we're going to show verticutting those couple spots, and then we're going to come back, probably over it with the leveling rake, and then we're going to come back as after some time passes and see what happens. That'll all be a part of this video, so stick around to see whether this worked or not. So let's get started. For reference, this is the area right down here along the edge. We're gonna come around this area, which I already tried to aerate, which kind of helped, and in that spot there. So we have that now. Let's go grab the SunJoe, grab a couple feet of extension cord, and get after it. There we go, got the sprinkler set up, and we're gonna water now, and we're just gonna see what happens. So I do kind of have some bare areas down below me and over there that have not been verticut. So let's see what happens. Well, I'm gonna follow up here in a couple of weeks. For you, it's gonna be just this cut, but we'll see you then. What's up everyone? Welcome back to our lawn. Tonight, we are starting the process of putting green. I don't know, renovation's probably an aggressive word. We're not really renovating, but what we are gonna do is we're gonna cut it. Just earlier today, put plant growth regulator on to help kill the top growth for a little bit as best we can. We're gonna verticut it, we're gonna top dress it, we're gonna seed it to try to get Penncross to fill in that whole thing, because if you've seen my videos recently, you will know that the Penncross is performing much better through this summer than the existing bentgrass that was here in my backyard. So that's the process we're getting into. We're gonna mow, verticut, seed, and then top dress. I think that's the order I'm gonna go with, and we'll see how that works. There we go, it's cut. Looks better in person than it does on camera right now as the camera's adjusting for low light. But yeah, the reason it looks like that is the reason we're doing all this right now. So it's time for step 2 in my plan here of mow, verticut, seed, top dress. And that, step 2, is verticutting with the SunJoe. They're cheap and cheerful, little buddy. It's not heavy, but it's heavy enough when you're trying to carry it like this. All right, SunJoe with the Verticutter cartridges on there. We can actually take a look at, I did it a couple weeks ago just to see if it would help the grass spread. We can take a look at what that looks like now. And then we're gonna verticut with this. Quick tip for you folks with this thing. I've seen a lot of people use these in videos and really struggle with the cord. So really all you have to do is start at one side with your cord beyond that side. So if I'm working this way, I want my cord to start over here, and so long as I just go that way, I'm never gonna encounter the cord. I'll set the camera up and give you a little time lapse and see what I mean. But as promised, we can get down in here, and you can actually see that all along this cut is where the grass is starting to kind of poke up and grow in. So maybe if I did this and left it long enough with enough patience
You can see here actually a really good example right there where the turf is all using that slit to fill in and grow in. But I don't have that kind of patience, so we're just gonna top dress and seed it. Also, Milo's in here, that's what all the black stuff is.
There we go, one pass done, going this way. Like I said, if you set the cord up that way and you work away from where your extension cord is, you're never gonna walk over it. Granted, I did unplug it the first spin around, but that was because I kicked it myself. But now we're gonna do it on the vertical, not gonna film that, and we'll catch you when that's done. Well, I don't have as much seed as I thought I had, but hopefully enough to at least get a very, very thin coating over the whole green. We're gonna go as light as we can on this little handheld spreader. Actually, the funny thing is that doesn't close quite right, and bentgrass seed is so small that it just falls out even when the hopper's closed. So that should be about the right setting. We'll go as light as we possibly can, try to hit the areas that are barer than the other areas, and come over it with the level rake probably to get the seed to settle down. Water it once, and then tomorrow or some other day we'll come back with the sand to top dress it, and then we'll keep watering it and seeding it like you would any seeding project. And actually I put down about 7 pounds per thousand of Milorganite on the whole yard. That included the green, so we got about 7 pounds of Milo on there, about a ½ pound of nitrogen and some phosphorus. You're good to go. All right. So I was able to actually get seed to cover the whole area, so that's successful. Now we're gonna take the big rake here and go back and forth. I'm not gonna do the level rake just because I think this is gonna be better to get the seed to settle down. There's now quite a bit of dust and dirt and sand kicked up from the Verticutter, so we're hopefully going to kind of wipe the seed and some of that sand and dirt back into the grooves, and then we'll water it and it'll all settle in. We'll get some good seed to soil contact, and then we'll come back and top dress sometime. Because we got a mulch party this weekend. I got 12 yards of mulch to fill in all the landscape beds we got out front. But this is the process we're going to, and we'll see how it's gonna work. And there we go, guys. Verticut and seeded, and then ran back and forth over it with the rake. Sand again. I keep saying the same thing, but that's going to be the process. So we went through, cut it down, PGR and disease preventative on it, so that it's not going to generate a ton of top growth from the existing turf. So we can leave it alone. Probably won't have to mow it a whole lot. Verticut, seeded, raked, sand, water until it germinates. So there's not a lot of seed on there, but with how small bentgrass seed is, there is quite a bit of seed in there that it should germinate and then just start the spreading process from a much better base. So we'll cut to the next clip here of us throwing some sand on it. That's gonna call it a night for me here, but we'll see you in the next clip. So a little under a week removed from the initial verticut and seeding. Last night I got another 2-pound bag of Penncross, spread about 1.5 pounds over this, which is above what they suggest, but just went a little bit aggressive to get coverage with my hands. It was kind of hard to get a good even coverage with my hands using the right amount of seed. And then now I actually was able to use the AgriFab spreader as a top dresser. So I put some sand in there, left it to dry throughout the day, kind of every so often came out here and mixed it over so that the wet stuff would dry, and it worked out pretty well. And actually last night I was able to do it. If I use smaller shovels, I could get it to spread. And so that's how I got the rest of the sand out, top dressed, keep watering it and see if we can get that stuff to germinate. And we'll see you guys in probably 2 weeks to see how this project worked out. And here we are about 9 or 10 days after the first seed, 3 or 4 days after the overseed. And even just with the watering, this has really started to kind of wake back up. And I am seeing some germination in the bare spots, so I think this is going to turn out really well. I'm going to leave this here as the kind of process of getting through what I did with the kind of mini reno of this putting green. And then the next video on this is going to be the first cut when we come out of the seeding. So we can get down a little bit close, we'll talk about it, and then we'll wrap it up. So you can see in these bare spots, they're starting to fill in, both just from watering and the existing grass creeping, but there's also some new germination in here too. That area is filling in as well. All along here where it was the worst, And then the full bare spots down here.
Biggest thing is in here, there's grass that's germinated. And once that's in there, you can see it actually really well over there along the slits from the verticut as well. You can even see the grooves. So that worked out exactly as we'd hoped. Even the biggest bare area here has seed germinating in it. There's another layer of seed in there that we'll continue to water. Another one here, some germination happening just in the barest area. You can see we had a huge storm right after that washed a lot of the sand away, but seed's still there, seed's still germinating. So we're gonna be in business. So yeah, super excited. Like I said, the next video will be the first cut and we can see how well we did. And then we'll continue to follow along how we're taking care of all of this back here through the fall and going forward in time. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.